Yeah, look, I think we're very excited for this preseason. We're excited for this season. We've added a lot of key additions. We've also retained a lot of our top players. So yeah, we're excited to hit the ground running.
Perfect. Thank you for that. We'll start with Dustin. Dustin, go ahead.
Hey Fabrice, welcome back.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
You mentioned a good core of the team from last year's back. A majority of, I think, what you would consider the starters are back. How important is that for you in getting this team off and running early in the season?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Whenever you can bring back your, core group of players, I think it says a lot about the environment we are creating. And it's an environment that the players want to be a part of and are also actively creating and feel like they have a big say and a stake in it. So, yeah, I'm very always honored when that happens, and I'm excited to keep working with them.
I know last year you talked a lot about the offense and the need to score goals. It seems like you guys now have, with Clarissa and Messiah back, you've signed Kate Fossey, Kat Rader, a number of options at forwards. Just how do you see that position playing out? Do you see some of them maybe being able to play as tens, as wings? Just kind of how do you see that offense setting up the season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, if you look at our roster, is depth and competition. So I think in anything, whenever you have depth and competition in each position, um, everyone's performance goes through the roof. And so that's the piece that I'm really excited about. I think the other piece is we're not trying to relearn anything. Now it's more like, okay, can we execute at a high level what we're asking? Because we're not making, if anything, we've simplified our game model in the offseason. And so now it'll be really like, let's just hit the ground running. We know what we need to do to be successful. And now we can really focus on the execution.
And I know Maggie came in last year, was a big addition to the team early on. She played a lot of games until her injury. In your interview the other day, you were saying it was like you guys got 4 first-round picks here with these rookies that you got. Just can you just give us a brief rundown of the new rookies that you guys signed and kind of how you see them integrating into the team this season and their roles?
Yeah, look, I mean, Leah, we actually have personal experience where she's a Houston native, and so obviously being close to home was a big part of her decision. She's obviously been on youth national teams, Notre Dame player. She's someone that could impact right away anywhere in the back line. I mean, she has the ability to play as an outside back, center back, so I think her versatility is really key. The other piece, she's also come in extremely fit as well. The other piece you mentioned, Cat Radar. I think Cat Radar can play anywhere in that 10 or even one of the outside players coming in the pocket, potentially staying wide. She's obviously, if you look at her production, even at Duke this year and even throughout her career, I think it speaks for itself. So just her composure in and around the box will be key. Yeah, the other pieces, I think probably more people were surprised at the Linda Olmark, right? So only, just finished her sophomore year, still relatively young, but has such an engine and such an ability. I've said this before, but I think she's a good hybrid between like a Danny and Maggie. I think she can cover that ground, but also is very technical as well, can play through the lines. So she's someone that I think is going to have an impact right away. And then Bossy, right? Like I think it's really clear if you look at her. There's a reason why she's the Mac Herman Trophy winner. Her junior year, her shot on goal percentage is through the roof, almost 50%. So she has a knack for scoring goals. She knows where to put the ball in the back of net, and I think that'll be key to keep adding to our competitive line for sure.
And just last one from me. I'll let the other guys jump in. I know you guys had some injuries at the end of last season. Maggie, Sophie's a little more long term. Just what can you update us on some of the injuries that you guys had as you come into this new season?
Yeah, look, Maggie should be good to go relatively soon. Soph's ahead of schedule on her injury, so we should have her back. Hopefully in the first half of the season, but we'll see. But yeah, no, we're knock on wood, we're in good shape. So yeah, right now, really good.
Thanks, Fabrice.
Thank you.
We'll go with Diego, and then we'll go to Alex. Diego, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Fabrice. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Just to talk a little bit about kind of the roster and how you guys are looking heading into the season. Talking a little bit about the defense. Y'all get a full season of Lisa Boatin and a full season of Malia Berkeley. Can you talk to me a little bit about how like adding reinforcements in that area can help you guys take a leap?
Yeah, look, I think everyone coming back, like you said, Lisa and Malia were starters for us at the end of the year, and they only were with us. I mean, Malia was there for, I think a month or two. So a relatively short time. For her to hit the ground running with us at the start of preseason is huge. And same thing with Lisa. Lisa, you could see her quality, but now when she's into our type of preseason, already adjusted to the style of play, but also the league in general and how athletic it is. I think we'll be ahead of the curve, and then obviously you got veterans like Chappie and Westfall that are huge and have tons of experience in the league. And then again, like I mentioned before, Leo. So you've got a real well-rounded back line for sure.
And then some players that are currently still on loan, like Zoe Matthews and Rebecca. Can you possibly give some insights to Dash fans that might have not been paying attention to their games abroad of how they're doing or how you've seen them kind of grow?
Yeah, they're both progressing quite well. I think both are having good season in their own right. So yeah, no, we're excited to keep tracking them, and yeah, and whenever we get them back, I'm sure they'll be. The biggest thing for them is to make sure they get game minutes, and I think that was the reason behind those decisions.
And then final question for me, kind of looking at a little bigger picture. You guys made a huge step, especially in the second part of last season. What is kind of the expectation or kind of things to look forward to when it comes to this Dash team this season?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're pretty clear on what we want to set out. I think if you look at the history of this club, outside of the 2020 Challenge Cup win, in terms of actually, making playoffs, it only happened once in 22. So, a big slogan of ours is, what does it look like to make history for our club? And so we are coming in, we want to come in on the front foot and high belief, and why not us. So I think for us, it starts with what we believe about ourselves. And then the other piece is we're taking a lot of initiative. I need to take a lot of initiative. But how do we empower this team to be more player led? How do we empower our team leaders to take more ownership? And so that's a piece that I'm really excited about to step into, so that we can go and achieve great things this year.
Thanks, Fabrice.
Thank you.
Alex, go ahead.
Coach Fabrice, first of all, good morning. Can you hear me? You don't have to see me, but can you hear me, Coach? Great to see you.
I can hear you and I can see you, Alex. How are you?
I'm fine, sir, and I'm sorry that you have to see me, but we got to get through it. Coach, a couple of things, and maybe I'll start with this. Is this becoming little by little more of your team? Any coach that comes in and has a roster that was there and you inherited that, obviously moves have been taking place. Are you closer to what you would like to have as a Fabrice Gautrat team? This is my team. I've built it. Is that a fair question?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I would almost reframe a little bit. It's our team. And the reason I say that is, we have a lot of people that have very specific roles and responsibilities. So the first piece is the recruitment department. Like, they do so much work behind the scenes to make sure that I'm up to date on players from a statistics standpoint, from a video analysis standpoint. When I step into any player meeting, like, I am debriefed so well that I feel like I know the player in and out. So the other piece is, as I've grown in my communication and how we communicate and get alignment, now we're really clear on what we need to go and get. And I think it's pretty clear, even from our signings, what we needed. We were the second oldest team last year. And so that was one of the reasons behind, kind of bringing the youth that we brought in, even though we did bring in another veteran player who I think will be very good for us. But yeah, so that's, I would say it's our team. And the more we collaborate and get alignment, that's kind of what we're creating right now.
And you're getting there, meaning you still have some pieces, I imagine. I think every team is always looking for the next piece. Is that, again, fair?
Yeah, no, 100%. And we're slowly kind of ticking those boxes as we go.
Coach, earlier you were asked maybe about your goals for the season. With the Dynamo, the stated goal is playoffs. Can you talk about that piece of it? Is that one of your goals? You certainly improved in your first season relative to the previous season. I imagine improvement is part of it, and that goal of playoffs has to be at least in front of you.
Yeah, I don't think we need, the idea of settling necessarily for playoffs is necessarily the goal. I think we've talked about this before, but making history, what does it look like? If you look at the history of this club, they've been to one playoff and it was a home game, but we got knocked out. And so for us, like, what does it mean to make history for this club? And so that's kind of our MO this year. That's what we're moving towards. And so I think playoffs is a minimum. So that's kind of what we're seeking after this year for sure.
Coach, you speak about history, and you mentioned the signing of Leah. St. Agnes, Albion, FC, one of the local youth clubs. I think that's historic as well. And I imagine you would want more maybe local talent that either at the club level, at the high school level, at the university level, that's feeding into your program.
Yeah, and we're trying to create, better and better relationships. I know there's actually a history of, the club and maybe an academy, not academy. So there's all these things that are probably in the landscape that we're, in previous years just trying to work through. And I think we have a really good staff that's trying to connect with the local market, trying to get eyes. Okay, who's on youth national teams? Can we bring them in? We did that a little bit last year. So yeah, that's definitely something we want to actively do. If we have top talent in the area, we want to bring them in our environment, 100%.
Agreed. Lastly, Coach, how are you doing? Settling into your second year? Did you take a little time off? And are you energized as you start this very important World Cup year, which is going to bring more attention, I think, to maybe the non-NWSL, the non-Houston Dash fan?
Yeah, I'm very excited, very, very well rested. Also did a lot of, just growth and soul searching in terms of who I need to become in order for us to, to kind of become this club that we want to be and this team that we want to be. So yeah, very feeling very well balanced in all fronts. So very excited to hit the ground running this year.
Awesome. Great word, Coach. Balance. Thank you for your time, sir, and good luck. See you soon.
Thanks, Alex.
Anything else for Fabrice before we wrap up here? Okay. Thanks for jumping on, everyone. We'll be back with Jane here at 1:30.
Thank you, guys.